What's that habit? What's that discipline? What's that non-negotiable? Once you actually change your goal to the big goal that's going to light you on fire and make you uncomfortable. What's that habit and discipline that when you follow through with it, you'll attack like you've never attacked before? Welcome back to another episode of The Burn. I am Ben Newman, and you know how we bring it to you every single week. We're going to bring you a story of an athlete, an entertainer, a celebrity, somebody from the world of high performance who has proven to us, who shows us that why and purpose is not enough. It's that underlying burn that ignites your why and purpose and causes you to show up on the days you don't feel like it, and especially after you win. And then sometimes you know, and you've learned to know, that we bring you special episodes where sometimes you just get me. And it's an opportunity for one-on-one coaching, you and I locking in on your opportunity to get after it. And especially after we kicked off this year with that amazing episode with Drew Hanlon, to have the opportunity to stop bullshitting yourself and to get clear on what you want, I said it's time for me to get back on this mic with you one-on-one to help you make sure that you're locked in to the right mindset. You are thinking big enough and driving the action. It's going to make this the best damn year you've ever had in your life. You can tell I get a little fire about this topic because I don't want any of our listeners, if we're going to spend this time week in and week out, the tens of thousands of people that listen to the podcast, that we're not going to waste our time and have regret at the end of the year and be like those individuals who tell everybody how great they want to be, and then you have a conversation with their action and you find out they don't really want it that bad. So I'm going to tell you one of my favorite stories of one of the highest performers walking the face of the earth and their financial firm. You know, I've had the opportunity to impact and to coach and to make a difference with Foster Victor Wealth Advisors out of Greenville, South Carolina for years. They also take care of Amy and I and our planning. They do an incredible job. And for years, I was blessed to go in and do an annual planning day. It was kind of a kickoff to make sure all the planning they had done, they were prepared with the right thinking and action to make it an incredible year. So we go back to 2017. If you can envision, I'm standing in their office. I'm leading their advisors. At the time, there were 5 advisors that were part of the team, plus the entire team was there. And I look, and one of the advisors says, "We are so fired up about our goals. We're going to bring in $82 million of money this year." And all of a sudden, I'm thinking to myself, wow, $82 million, that's a big number for just 5 advisors. This is back in 2017. And I remember the excitement of this advisor. And I remember that this would have been the best year that they'd ever had, bringing in that amount of new money. But I just couldn't resist myself. Now, as I share this story, I want you to think about the big goals and everything you said that you wanted to attain, achieve, and attack this year. So I said, "Hey, I got a question for you. I can feel the excitement, the energy, like you're ready to go attack this, but I got a question for you. Why not 100 million? And one of the advisors raises his hand and says, "Ben, I knew you were going to say something like that. We would expect for you to say something like that, right? Our best year ever wouldn't be good enough. Let's go for 100 million. And I'm not saying that it wouldn't be good enough, but here's what I am saying. If you go for 100 million, I want any of you in this room to tell me, what are the terrible, awful, horrible things that are going to happen if you fall short of the 100 million? And it was like crickets. I heard nothing. It's the same for you. Did you actually set the goal that made you uncomfortable for this year? Or did you protect yourself? Because you better change it now, because we're only in round 1. You get yourself into round 5, 6, 7, 8, it is way too late. Change it now and make yourself uncomfortable. Change it now and make yourself uncomfortable. One of the advisors in that room raised his hand and said, "Can we go around the room and rewrite down what our goals are?" I said, "Absolutely, you can do that." So they all go around, they write down their numbers on a piece of paper. We add up the piece of paper. 110 million. Wouldn't you believe that? 110 million. So they originally said 82, but the real number was 110. Fast forward. It's the end of the year. They're doing their review. The end of that year. I get an email from Paul Foster, one of the founders of the firm, one of my dear friends, the fiduciary on our estate, a man that I trust with anything for our family. Many of you probably saw the Burn episode with Paul back in the day. And Paul called me and he said, "I sent you an email. We've got a call scheduled to review the email. Do not open the attachment in the email till I call you." And I said to Paul, I said, "Okay, sounds good." So all of a sudden he calls and I have the email. I open up the email and I open up the spreadsheet and he says, "Do you remember the goal that we had as a firm?" I said, "Yeah, it was 110 million. He said, "Scroll all the way over to the right." Now remember, the original goal was 82. They changed it to 110. He said, "Scroll all the way over to the right." The firm ended up bringing in $120 million of new assets under management that year. Paul then said, "Scroll down." He says, "Do you remember what my goal was?" And I said, "Yeah, your goal of the 110 was 40 million. And he said, "Scroll all the way over to the right. Read my number." Paul ended up bringing in $62 million. The firm ended up doing, what is that percentage? Rather than 80, they did 120, 50% more than the original goal because they believed. So what do you actually believe? Do you believe in a goal that you've already started to reach, to attain, to attack? Because if that goal's wrong, you may not attack it right. Change that goal. Actually make yourself uncomfortable. Give yourself permission to think bigger. And then maybe you'll actually be more disciplined with how you attack it because you have to. Otherwise, you'll have regret. Paul then said to me, he said, "Ben, do you remember the conversation we had after I committed to 40 that planning day?" I said, "Absolutely." I said, "We walked into your office and you asked me, what do I need to do in order to hit this 40 million? Now, Paul is one disciplined son of a gun. And as I share this with you, I want you to think for you about the periods of time when you've performed at your highest possible level in your life. What were the disciplines? What was the action? How did you show up? Not the words that you told everybody, what you actually did. Now, he being a former Division I athlete, he says he's going to do something, he's going to do it. And I knew it when we had that conversation that day. So I said to Paul, just like I would say to you, I said, "Paul," I said, what are the most important daily disciplines? And we start going through it. What are the things you know you need to do every day when you perform at your highest level? What are the things that are most important that you have to do them? They're non-negotiable, no regrets, no excuses, all in. You attack it every day. We don't skip days. And then finally, after hearing some of those answers, I looked at him. I said, "I believe that if you contact 2 A++ opportunities a day," I didn't say sell, I didn't say schedule, I didn't say they have to give you money. If you just contact, get in the habit of and discipline of contacting, reaching out to, scheduling, being active with these individuals that are in your A++ market, you'll bring in the 40 million. I said twice a day. It wasn't a result, it was an action step. Just like you can tie an action step. Paul looks at the spreadsheet himself, and then he says, "That's exactly what you told me to do. Look at that 62. I looked at that 62 again. And then he said, "Ben, I reached out to those 2 A++ every single day. I did not miss a day. That's why 40 became 62. So for you, what's that habit? What's that discipline? What's that non-negotiable? Once you actually change your goal to the big goal that's going to light you on fire and make you uncomfortable. What's that habit and discipline that when you follow through with it, you'll attack like you've never attacked before? Now, I want to be honest, forward, vulnerable with you, and really challenge you. And really, 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 really get real with you today. You see, Paul's firm has continued to have amazing growth. Very soon, they'll manage over $2 billion of assets under management in a very, very small boutique firm. It's a lot of assets under management from a lot of discipline, from working hard. They've done all the work. I shared some mindsets. I shared some principles. Tremendous amount of coaching. But they were open to the coaching, the push, the challenge. You know, one of the things about a podcast, we have tens of thousands of listeners every episode. I don't necessarily know everything about you. But I'll ask you this. Do you have a coach? Do you have somebody who's challenging you? Now, I say this, and I'll let you know, our Standard Elite Mastermind, it's only 15 people. It is completely booked. One-on-one coaching with me, completely booked. We do have a team of coaches through BNC Coaching where we can help you diagnose, just like I did with Foster Victor, exactly the disciplines that you need to do. We can do it through our group coaching, Uncommon Live. Many of you who want to be better coaches and leaders, individuals, do that through our Coach to Coaches program. We certified 190 coaches last year. Our brand new class starts on January the 15th. At the recording of this episode, we have 6 spots left. It's probably going to be sold out by then, but reach out, and if we can't get you, we'll get you into our next class. But here's the reality. If you're only listening to podcasts, if you're only watching videos on Instagram, and I know I'm getting real with you, and you're not investing in accountability, and you think you can do it by yourself, it might be very hard to figure out and to win and to identify how great you can be. If financially you are not in a place, but that's a goal for you, make it a goal to one day hire a coach. But right now, find somebody that you can drive accountability with that costs you nothing, but actually push and challenge each other. And if you need coaching, reach out to our team. Schedule time with our team. Workwithbnc.com. Go to that link, workwithbnc.com. Schedule time with our team. You could come to an event, become part of our coaching programs. We will help you break down the discipline so you can have breakout years like Paul Foster did and his entire firm did, because they chose to not do it alone. I still work with 2 coaches. I continue to read books every single day because I haven't figured it out. The moment we say we figured it out, the moment we get seduced by success, the moment we're no longer willing to believe and to lock in on the 4 P's of the Standard, from page 24 of the Wall Street Journal bestseller, The Standard, made a Wall Street Journal by all of you and your listeners, which we'll forever appreciate. But page 24, the 4 P's of the Standard, if you're not going through the methodical process and breaking down the daily discipline through prize fighter days, the tools from our Mental Toughness Academy, you may never know how great you can be. And even if it's not our company, go find a coach that you resonate with and take action. But stop trying to do it by yourself. Stop repeating the same behaviors that you did last year and then expect that 2025 is going to be different. Why am I this fired up about it? And remember, when you start seeing this vein popping, I'm not yelling at any of you. It's my passion that I don't want you having any more regret in your life. And for you high performers already out there saying, yeah, but I'm at a level I'm doing well, then you have got the wrong individuals pushing and challenging you. You need somebody who's constantly right there in your face, lighting your ass on fire and giving you the truth that we all can get better. It's why I still have 2 coaches. I humbly say this, right? I was selected as one of the top 5 mindset and performance coaches in the world with Ed Milet, Brendan Burchard, Tim Grover, Mel Robbins. And I still have 2 coaches because I won't be seduced by success. I look at the example of some of them, dear friends of mine now, and say, gosh, they make me feel like I haven't accomplished anything. So forget about the recognition. Forget about what you once did. How bad do you really want it? And if you want it bad enough, then you're going to set those really big goals that scare you, that make you uncomfortable. And then just like Paul Foster, you will identify the discipline by reverse engineering the goal, putting it right in front of your face and saying, I will not miss a day. I will stack those days. I will challenge myself personally, professionally, and how I serve others. I will stack days. I will win one day at a time. And this is going to be the best damn year that I've ever had. If you want more of this fire and energy than just getting it one time per week on this podcast, reach out to our team, workwithbnc.com, and let's find ways to win more together. Come see us in person, our events. Our in-person events are crazy. We do them better than any other company, I believe. No knock on other companies because I continue to speak at and attend so many unbelievable events. But one of the things that we intentionally do with our events is that they're very small for a reason. And I've encouraged so many of the other coaches and leaders who are now starting to choose to use our formulas of smaller meetings, and they're winning more. And some of them are starting to throw events just as good as ours. Is what you're finding is that the events don't need to have thousands of people. They need the right people. So as for instance, April 12th, our first live event, the St. Louis Summit at First Phorm headquarters. Sal Frisella, Dan Martell, Jen Gottlieb, Adley. These are some of the top business minds in the world today. There's only 220 total tickets. Platinum, VIP, already sold out. Grab a gold ticket. Come see what we do in a small environment with a small group of people and watch how you can win more. You see, I believe in intentionally doing things a certain way. So whether it's events, whether it's we're doing a big As Texas boot camp. It's going to be the biggest boot camp that we've ever done. Not people, big in terms of impact. It's going to be incredible down in Dallas, Texas. I'm not even going to share all that. We haven't even dropped the website for that yet, even though it's finished. Pay attention to our opportunities to win more together. Feel the passion that I share for wanting to win more with you and figure out how can we do that together. And then make sure the moment that this podcast ends, take 5 or 10 minutes. Don't just listen and say, oh, that had me energized and maybe I'll change my goals and maybe I'll do this. Take 5 or 10 minutes right now. Take action. Take a look at your goals, maybe 1, 2, 3, or 5 of your goals. Do they make you uncomfortable? And then reverse engineer things you've maybe done in the past to hit goals, just like the ones you currently have. They better be bigger now than they used to be. And then identify what are the disciplines that helped you get there in the past. And like Paul Foster's example, hammer those disciplines every damn day. Walk through your gates. Lock that motherfucker down. Know that we are in this fight together. We have got your back, but we don't know what we don't know, and we can only help you more if you ask. And let's go through those gates. Let's lock it down. And let's make sure that 2025 is the year that we are coming for everything together. This is The Burn. Every single week, we're going to bring you stories, athletes, entertainers, celebrities, individuals from the business world who provide an example for us that why and purpose is not enough. It's that underlying burn that ignites your why and purpose and causes you to show up on the days you don't feel like it, and especially after you win. Let's win more together in 2025. Now we go.
so much.